this is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Pursue Fitness, and I'm delighted to be joined by former British and Commonwealth champion Scott Welch. Scott, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
That's good to hear. Obviously, we're down here today at Fitzroy Lodge ahead of the appearance of the WBC World Heavyweight Champion Deontay Wilder, who will be giving a bit of a talk and going through some emotions with some of the youngsters who are on the WBC Youth Offending Program. Before we talk about Deontay, do you want to just explain a little bit about what the WBC Youth Offending Program is and what it consists of?
Yeah, I mean, about 18 months ago, we were out with the Metropolitan Police, going around London, looking at. We were talking to them, and they were showing us the sites where a lot of these young kids had been killed. While we were out, we were visiting a gym. We got a call. There's 6 youths running through Croydon Shopping Centre carrying machetes and hammers, chasing one guy. Anyway, they arrested some youths. We saw them get arrested, and I saw the size of the machetes that they were carrying. I was quite shocked, to be honest with you, and realised that this is a bad situation. So I said straight away, we've got to get involved. We've got to do as much as we can, and we got involved with the gym in Croydon, the Sting gym, and we started to build from there. And now we're in 8 gyms across Sussex and London.
So what's the ultimate aim of the WBC Youth Offending Program, and what type of children or kids and young adults have you been working with?
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, all these kids are great kids. They're not bad kids, but they're caught up in a world where there's not much for them. You know, the jobs are not there. They're struggling with, you know, they're spending a lot of time on computer games. They're in the house. They're not out running around doing sports and everything. So we want to get them back in the gym, working hard, take their minds off everything else. And I know that boxing is a great way to enhance everything that they can do. So,
what's the ultimate aim of the program then?
The ultimate aim of the program is to get them focused, keep their minds on training, looking after themselves, and forget about this stuff out on the street. So.
Now, obviously, we're doing this interview prior to Deontay Wilder's arrival, but when he does come and he's with the children and he's talking to them, what are you hoping that all of those guys take away from what Deontay has to say?
Well, Deontay's had a great career and he's a very, very successful man. So if they look at him and think to themselves, wow, this guy can do it, I can do it. You know, that's what I want these kids to understand. That, you know, the Anthony Joshuas, the Deontay Wilders, Tyson Fury, all these guys, you know, boxing's a rough sport. We come up the hard way. So the same as these guys that are involved in the crime and everything. And it's all there for them. So if they want to concentrate and dedicate themselves in the gym to being a better person, then I believe that we're doing great. So.
Boxing seems to be one of those sports that can help children who have maybe been taken along the wrong path at a young age. Is that the way that you see that boxing is maybe one of very few sports that can try and guide anybody who is taken along the wrong path, like I say, into a better life?
Yeah, I mean, I was exactly the same. I was going the wrong way. I was probably on the verge of going to prison as well. What I did was went to a gym, buried myself in the gym, and I become a champion, amateur and professional. And it took me out of the game. I've been in my gym now in Brighton for 34 years, and I'm still loving it every day. So.
Now, we are obviously going to have a WBC World Heavyweight Champion down here, so I do have to ask you about the heavyweight division. Starting off with Deontay, he's got a couple of fights lined up, Wilder-Ortiz rematch before going in with Tyson Fury. What are your thoughts firstly on the Ortiz rematch?
I think Deontay, he seems to prove that the first one doesn't go that well, but he certainly gets the job done in the second one. So I'm not expecting a long fight in the second one. I'm sure he's going to deal with him quite easily. So
and then he's looking to, provided he comes through unscathed there, going with that rematch with Tyson Fury after a brilliant first fight. Again, what are your thoughts on that one?
I mean, I was at the first one. That was an incredible fight, incredible experience. I believe, you know, hey, it's a 50-50 again. It's a 50-50. The first one was 50-50. I mean, Tyson Fury, how he got up was incredible. You know, I still don't know how he got up. I've spoke to him about it. He told me it was divine intervention. I believe it was. So, you know, but listen, it's going to be a hell of a fight. Tyson Fury said to me that fighting in America, he was only about 30%. I fought in America 3 times. I know exactly what he's talking about. You know, you don't feel yourself, you're not used to it. He's now fought there twice. He's talking about fighting there again before the return. If he does that, I believe it will help him massively. So you need to get used to an area. So you know, and it'll be the same for Deontay. If Deontay comes here to fight here, it's going to be a different experience for him that he has to deal with. So,
how much pressure do you think there's going to be on both fighters to try and deliver a better fight than what the first fight was?
Massive. I mean, you know, both of them, as I just said, I mean, Deontay seems to want to get rid of everyone very, very quickly in the returns. So obviously Tyson Fury is going to have to be ready for that and deal with that. And I believe that Tyson Fury is also going to bring a lot more to the party as well in the return. So it's going to be a hell of a fight, and it's going to, you know, they're the 2 top guys in the world at the moment, aren't they? So.
Now, sticking with the WBC, one fighter who did fight this past weekend for a mandatory position has, since reports have come out that he's allegedly failed his A sample test, which was taken by UCAD, Dillian Whyte. What are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Again, until he's proved guilty, you know, I believe that we have to wait and see. So we don't want to talk about anything. I mean, wait and see exactly the results, and if it's the wrong, you know, somebody's done him up or something, then great. I mean, if it's not, then it's terrible for boxing. Obviously, terrible in all aspects. So I don't know. I know Dillian. I'm hoping that it's a blip and something's gone on. So he's a great guy. So hopefully he gets it all sorted. So.
Now, you obviously work with the WBC. In that report, and since then, you know, Eddie Hearn's come out and said that the WBC and Team Rivas wasn't informed of a hearing that took place with Dillian just before his fight with Oscar Rivas last week. What are your thoughts on the fact that neither of those parties were sort of spoken to?
Again, I mean, it doesn't sound right that they weren't informed, and I don't know why. But again, it's not. What can I say? I don't really know. I'm not really in a position to say about that. So.
Well, moving away from Dillian, we will move on to the other big heavyweight name, Anthony Joshua, who last time I spoke to you, it was just before he fought Andi Ruiz Jr. Since then, he's fought him and he had a shock loss. Firstly, what was your thoughts on that fight?
I mean, it was a shock. It was a total shock. I believe something was wrong, definitely. I believe either he's been knocked out in the gym or...
The rumours were he was either knocked out in sparring or he was having a panic attack prior to the fight. So you saying you could see something like that being
for the first 2 rounds, there was hardly no work in the first 2 rounds, and I wasn't quite sure, because being in America, you'd have wanted to impress. But, you know, people deal with things in different ways. And he's a hell of a fighter, a hell of a champion, and I believe, again, he can come back from that. So it's more mental than physical, and obviously more mental. And I think he can beat. He's a good big man, always beats a good small man, and he's a good big man. So he should deal with Ruiz in the return. How he is after that, I'm not sure. Obviously, you know, if he sticks and moves and just boxes, then I think he can win quite easily. But if he looks to have a shootout, then obviously there's always a danger, you know.
What do you think Joshua needs to work on ahead of a rematch? Some people have called for maybe a change of trainer. There's been rumours that he's spoken to a few different people. What are your thoughts on it? Or what does Anthony Joshua need to do ahead of that rematch?
I believe Anthony Joshua just needs to believe in himself more, get himself defensively masterful, and I believe that he's a big, strong boy. He can knock out anybody, and you know it's all there for him. So all he's got to do is get himself back working on the fun. You know, literally, he's got all the tools. So he's just got to get his mind right to understand that he can achieve. He can get back and achieve everything he wants. So you just got to do the work, really. So.
Well, Scott, I appreciate your time once again. As always, it's been a pleasure. So thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one. Thank you very much.